What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. It is the 20th day of December, and here we are sitting at roughly $3,000 yesterday with a nice reversal candle there. That's actually a really good reversal candle. How much did we move up yesterday? 5.3%. Here we are today, pretty neutral. What's bullish about yesterday is not just the price action itself, but the fact that it happened on a Friday, the end of the week, the end of a stock week. We actually engulfed literally every day's closing price that we had that week, right? Monday, the opening of the week for the stock market, to Friday, the close, we actually closed barely, but technically net positive in one day. The rest of the week we were pushing down, but in one day we evaporated all that bearishness. So that's a very positive signal there, you guys, especially coming in at what seems to be a higher low. I mean, imagine here, let's just think very plainly here. Imagine here, you're looking at this trend line, and it's very obvious to the whole world that we're breaking out. We're breaking out of this trend line. We're going down. Let's get a better fit here, right? It's clear as hell that we're going to go down, but that's actually the best time to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. The times to buy are not, or the times to buy are not above the trend line, but below it, right? The times to sell are not below the trend line, but above it, right there, right? Whenever we break out of this trend line, that was the perfect signal to sell, to get out, right? Here we have this trend line here from a low connecting the dots down here. The best time to buy was actually just below that line, okay? And that's not always the case. That can get you in trouble if you treat that like 100% fact of reality. There's plenty of times where we broke through the trend line and it was not a good time to buy. You know what I mean? There's plenty of times that happens too. It's not just that by itself. But here, especially in the context of the week bullishly engulfing and then just where we are, I feel like the sentiment was very bearish here. And now we're back above the trend line, right? Very bearish here, and all we had was a higher low. Okay, we took one bearish week away with one day. 1 week of bearish price action all evaporated with one day. And now we're here. Now we're here over the weekend. It's neutral. It's boring. There's low volume on the weekends. There might be low volume next week too, so don't get too excited. We might have a boring week ahead of us. It is a holiday week, and sometimes magical things can happen on the holidays, but the reality of the matter is the big dogs are stepping away from their trading desks. The institutional money, they're not going to be at work. They're on holiday. They're doing their thing with their families. So the thought that I have there is that this next week could be boring, or maybe there's moments of excitement, but don't just expect that we're just going to blast through the roof here. However, I do think because the sentiment was so bearish down here, and we had a nice bullish reversal yesterday, I have a feeling that we will continue to rally from here, that we will continue to move up higher. Higher lows beget higher highs. I do believe that we're en route to a price that will take us above $3,500 from here. Probably by the end of this year too, so maybe by the end of this next week. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, we zoom in and then we'll zoom out, okay? Very boring, very sideways. The last time that we saw something that was this boring and this sideways was back here, right? Very low volume here, and that was on Saturday. So Saturdays are typically boring, okay? Whenever Sunday, Monday came around, we saw a slightly lower low, and then boom, then we moved up, right? We might see the same thing happen here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. What I'm trying to say is not that we're in a downtrend, that we're going to continue to move down, but is that if we're moving sideways here and then late Sunday or early Monday we see a little drop down that takes us below these lows, while everybody else in the crypto markets is going to be very bearish on Ethereum whenever it's below $2,934, you will be incredibly bullish because you know better, and we are probably going to move up from there. Okay, likely it doesn't stop here, right? People are already charged bearish. All they need is a little juice to help confirm that bias, and again, that typically traps people. That doesn't. The herd gets slaughtered. They don't get saved. The 1 hour time frame here, looking at the indicators, RSI is. Oops. Okay, I don't know what I just did there. I just did something. Couldn't paste. Okay, good. Whatever I was trying to paste. It's good that it couldn't paste. The RSI does look a little bit bearish. I mean, overall it's very bullish. Getting overbought, not getting oversold, you do look good, but it might look like you want to come down a little bit. Typically, you either bounce off the 50 or you don't, and it looks like you're choosing the don't option here. The stochastics look like you want to go lower, and the MACD, it's not that it looks like it wants to go lower, it's just that it could go lower and still be fine. So going lower on those indicators doesn't necessarily mean that the price is going down that whole time. Maybe we just slowly move sideways like this, and those indicators can cool off that way. I just wouldn't be surprised at all if late Sunday or early Monday we saw something like this where we go just below this low and then we rally back up. That's the thought there, okay? 4 hour time frame here. Very weird price action here. Very, very weird price action. Makes the RSI hard to decipher. I mean, a little bit bearish at the moment, obviously. Stochastics are bearish, or I guess, sorry, bullish, but coming down. The MACD has a bearish posturing overall. It has a bearish posturing overall, but there are some bullish things here setting up. We do have higher lows in the histogram with lower lows in the price. It's hidden, or that is bullish divergence in its truest sense. We haven't really seen that move come to full maturity yet, and I think once we cross above the zero here, we will get that nice pop to the upside. We look at the daily time frame, and we have a very bearish daily RSI, but there are some bullish things going here as well. You've got a lower low, lower high kind of trend, of which you've broken out of recently. Now, we're still not getting overbought. We are still living below the 50, and that's not good in itself. But sometimes, and oftentimes enough, you'll transition these lower low, lower high kind of trends into a sideways trend before you actually transition into an upwards trend. I think that's what we're doing here. So this on a daily time frame doesn't scream mega bullish, we're getting overbought tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be fantastic, but more so that we likely will get overbought sometime in early January, mid-January. We should be getting overbought, seeing some stronger readings, and thus producing some stronger price action as well. The stochastics have come out of the oversold zone, and that's nice. The last time we did that, we were at a relative low. We moved up. The MACD is bearish overall, but there is a decay of bearish momentum. I mean, you can just see it slowly but surely shifting to the upside here. We're very near the zero. We rejected it here, but this next, if we were to push through here, if we were to push back up here, I doubt that we find resistance at the zero again. I would think that we push higher and across above the zero on the daily time frame. Well, you know, the last time that we saw something like that was at our bear market lows, coming out of our bear market lows. We saw 3 days of glory for Ethereum whenever that happened. I say bear market lows. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. Our lows from April of this year. My bad. Not lows, not bear market lows, but still 3 days. You saw 56, or you saw a 48% pump in a 3 day period. So pretty fantastic there. You know, we're seeing the same indications or similar setups here. And again, I think that January will bring about a lot of that growth. If we look at the weekly time frame here, the RSI has reset. Every time that we've been down here, we've done this before, we've talked about this. Every time that Ethereum has been below the 40 has marked a low for the price since, at least since 2023 began, since 2022 even. And not only that, but whenever the RSI is, specifically in this environment, you guys, when the RSI is below the 40 and the stochastics are oversold together, that has marked every macro low that we've had. Doesn't mean that we can't go lower. You know, here you were below the 40 and your stochastics were oversold, but guess what? You still went lower afterwards, but you had a pump. You still had a pump. That was still a macro low. Yes, we went lower, but still a macro low. So the point remaining, even if we were to go lower, we'd still likely find a low here and then go lower. I don't think that we're going to go lower, though. I think the writing's on the wall that here we're getting ready to move up, actually, and see new all-time highs. But again, just the stochastics being oversold, RSI being here, if you connect the dots every single time that we've done that, I mean, probably in Ethereum's history, it's marked a very significant low. So with that, the MACD is also back at the zero. It's a perfect area to bounce. I don't really have anything else I want to say, guys. I'm very bullish on Ethereum. I would just say, you know, that bullishness is kind of reserved. It's kind of put on the shelf for now, okay? It's stored. I have very bullish expectations stored away for Ethereum. I don't think that's going to happen by the end of this year, but I think sometime in January or February, we should be moving up to new all-time highs. I wouldn't doubt it if in February we saw new all-time highs, but it could be as early as January, so we'll see. I've got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.